the Ferrari California. Ferrari has sold over 10,000 of these cars since it was launched in 2009, making it the best-selling model they've ever had. And now there's a new one, the California T. And the T is important because it stands for turbocharged, and this car has an all-new twin turbocharged V8 engine. Okay, so let's talk about this new engine. So, still a V8, but a smaller capacity than the outgoing car. But the big news is the fact that it's got this twin scroll turbocharging. It's the first turbocharged Ferrari road car since the F40. But obviously things have moved on a long way since then. And primarily the reason for the turbo was to try to make the car more efficient, better fuel economy, lower emissions, typical downsizing stuff that you find these days. And Ferrari have made the car more efficient. But the big news is that they've made lots of talk about wanting to maintain the Ferrari character of this engine, and they've done that. So if you can hear now, that 7,500 RPM sounds amazing. So there's lots of torque and lots of power throughout the rev range, but it still maintains that typical Ferrari character of having a really positive throttle response, instant response to the throttle, but also the fact that it still feels like the power builds and builds and builds to a crescendo as you get towards the red line. They've maintained that character, and it does feel like a really, really impressive engine. And there's more than enough performance for this California. So what are the raw statistics? Well, there's 70 horsepower more than the outgoing engine, but the really big news is the fact there's nearly 50% more torque, and that's what makes this car really, really feel rapid in the real world. The gearbox is still as before, dual clutch gearbox. The map has been reworked, so there's different software, so the shifts are now faster. There's a lovely blip on the downshift, and as with every other Ferrari in their range at the moment, the gearbox is pretty much perfect. They've changed the steering wheel as well, so you've got the paddles are bigger and easier to reach, so it's pretty much the same as the 458. It's an interesting statistic that 70% of people that bought the California were new to Ferrari, so their first ever Ferrari purchase. But Ferrari says that their customer base for this car is very different from any of their other models. It's really been designed to be a Ferrari for use every day, so a little bit softer, a little bit easier to live with than some of their other sports cars. A nice blend between open-top Grand Tourer and a pure thoroughbred sports car. But the last California was a little bit disappointing dynamically, so there was quite a lot of roll over the rear of the car. The weight of the hardtop roof was really felt with the way the car handled. So Ferrari's made quite a lot of changes. The chassis stays the same, same wheelbase, same dimensions, everything's the same, but they've made some changes to the suspension. So the damping is 11% stiffer, and the steering has a 10% faster ratio, and they've just sharpened it up, and you can feel that when you drive the California now. It does feel a little bit sharper than the old car. So coming towards quite a fairly fast sweeping corner, as you turn in, the car's very positive on the entry. You do see the stability control light flickering a little bit, even in these medium speed corners there on the exit. It's just flickering a little bit as it senses a little bit of roll in the car and senses a little bit of roll in stability. But it's very subtle, you don't really feel it working so much, you just see the lights, and you never get a sense of being left feeling a little bit uncomfortable in this car. It feels really well planted. I'm much more confident in the corners than the old car. Traction on the exit of the slower speed corners isn't bad either, helped by the fact that obviously you don't get all of the torque in the lower gears. So the California T's got a 3-stage Manatino button on the steering wheel, so you can have comfort, sport and stability control off. Driving in sport, you get a much sharper throttle response, and the steering is quicker and a bit weightier. And I've got to say, the steering isn't bad in this car. They've improved and sped up the ratio, but it's fast and there's a positive turn in, but it's not. Sometimes the steering's so fast in some Ferraris that it can be a little bit unnerving, which combined with the slightly softer setup of the California would be a bit of a problem. But actually, in reality, it's not too fast. It's, I think, pretty much right there. The other new feature that's carried across from other Ferraris is the fact that you can unhook the dampers from the Manettino. So that means you can have the throttle and the engine and steering in a sport setting, but pressing the little damper button here on the steering wheel means you can have a softer ride whilst you've got sporty for everything else. Okay, so the California's improved dynamically, but this car is also about long journeys and just cruising along with the roof down. Now the roof's the one thing that hasn't changed. Ferrari haven't touched that. It's exactly the same as the old car, so it comes up in 14 seconds. You can't do it when the car's moving, only when the car's stationary. The cabin has changed though, so inside you've got wider and more comfortable seats. The dash has been lowered and smartened up a little bit. We've got a new sat-nav system. We've also got the latest Ferrari steering wheel, so all of the indicators and controls are on the steering wheel rather than on stalks like they used to be in the old car. And just overall the materials and the cabin design's been smartened up. Ferrari California T is going to cost you just under £160,000. And I think Ferrari's updates to this car mean that this car now strikes an even better balance between a comfortable open-top Grand Tourer and an out-and-out sports car. And the engine's a bit of a gem as well, and it really adds to the car's character. So let's enjoy it one final time, the Manettino into sport, and really enjoy this engine. To see another convertible Ferrari, click here to watch our Ferrari 458 Spider video. Or for some more Italian supercar action, click here to watch our video of the new Lamborghini Huracan. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel by clicking on the Auto Express logo.